Ladies and gentlemen, the Sriracha meter just hit red hot. It's hot Sriracha time. Hot Sriracha time. Courtesy of Pat Cummins, ladies and gentlemen. You think that guy can take you down, punch you in the face? He sure can. He can bike up a storm as well. But guess what else? The man can make a mean Sriracha. Whoa. Dude. And an adorable little bottles. Pat Cummins shows up with
Literally
a little
coming
baggie.
in hot. Literally coming in hot.
Coming in
hot with hot Sriracha.
Hot Sriracha.
I bowed him up with that ribbon.
Dude, how do you make this stuff?
You pickle some Fresno peppers and some garlic and simmer it up. Throw in the Vitamix.
In the Vitamix?
Yeah.
And what made you want to make your own Sriracha?
Sriracha.
Are
you obsessed with it or what?
Yeah, I'm kind of obsessed with Sriracha, but the salt content and the sugar content is too much for me.
So you want to make it healthier?
It's healthy.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
No preservatives, you know.
You like it super spicy, do you?
Of course.
Hey, Cummings, I'm going to say this right now. Cummings got a very symmetrical face. He's got a very
looking
symmetrical
dude.
I keep my mouth closed. Yeah.
I was going to say.
He looks like a bigger version of, who's the transporter guy? The English
Jason Statham.
Does he look like Jason Statham?
I
Do
get
you?
that. Yeah, I do.
God dang it,
Yeah.
I thought I was the first to say this.
I want to be his evil twin in
Yeah.
Like-
a movie.
You guys should redo the movie Twins.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And he's the small guy.
Little known fact about him, he was an Olympic athlete. On the British,
Diver, right?
Yes, British Olympic diving team.
Diver.
And I
did know
believe
that.
he might have medaled.
I don't think he did.
Okay.
I think you're
Okay.
exaggerating now.
I might be
I
exaggerating.
feel you took it too far. But he was a diver.
But he's in many ways, he's a real athlete.
And he got discovered.
shows.
He was like hustling watches. And Guy Ritchie saw him and was like, you look like
Wow.
a character. Yeah.
Yeah, he's a real
That
dude.
could be
And
you,
that's
Pat.
Lock, Stock, right?
Yeah.
Lock, Stock, that's like the first scene.
Yep. And
right.
Snatch and all that.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's
Boom.
right.
Anyways, enough about that guy. We
lot of
don't
knowledge.
know. But we do know is
So
Pat
much
Cummins.
Let's get
looking version.
let's get to the
We
real
just keep
Jason.
talking about some random
Let's get
ass
to the
actor we don't know.
Let's get to the real life Jason Statham.
What's
Pat
going on with
Cummins.
you, brother?
Wish
a lot
he-
of people.
wish he was here.
I've been trying to get you on the show for a while now. You're my main training partner for a long time.
I know.
This guy he was the guy everyone avoided in the gym. Pat Cummins was the guy
You've told
everyone
me.
avoided in the
You've
gym.
told me he's an absolute monster.
Terrible.
But I'm a nice guy.
Of
the
course you are.
nicest.
Do you?
Not in training though.
Can I interject before we get into Pat? Can I just interject and ask
we
him a
get into
question?
Pat, yeah.
Besides Sriracha, do you ever take any On It products?
You know, I really want to.
Yeah.
I have.
Let me tell you why you want to.
What should he take though, Brian?
You know what, Brennan? I'm glad you asked. For me, I mean, you're talking about a finely tuned machine. He's at the top of his game in MMA. And by the way, the margin for error is very small. I mean, it's a very competitive thing. You need your edge. You need to be optimized. Am I right or am I wrong?
You're
Brennan?
100% correct. And listen, Pat's not putting anything to his body.
Well,
That's not great for it. Look, he makes his own Sriracha. He's so worried about it.
exactly. He makes his own
His own
Sriracha.
Sriracha. I mean, this guy is
just
he's
a
on top of
condiment.
things.
Well,
Yeah.
well,
it's a condiment.
well, one thing is guaranteed. When you take Pat Cummins Sriracha, you know you're not getting a whole bunch of sugar and salt. Am I right? And I'll tell you something else. When you take Dolce Whey, are you getting a bunch of sugar and salt in that as well?
Nah.
No, you're getting pure whey, aren't you?
Yeah, best on planet Earth.
Sourced from grass-fed New Zealand cows. True or false?
That is 100% true.
Yeah, not to mention his skin is just unbelievable. Probably could use a little
Could
krill
be better,
oil.
though.
Could use a little krill
Could be
oil.
better.
I could use some krill oil.
See that? Look at his
I
eyes.
knew it.
Yeah.
His eyes are all open and stuff. Yeah, listen, and if you get hungry and you're driving to training camps, all you got to do is break open some Warrior bars,
Bison.
bison. I mean,
Bison meat with pepper.
Last time
Cayenne pepper.
last time I checked.
That's a savory
Yeah,
snack,
man.
right?
Yeah,
Listen,
man.
I'm all about a savory
You like
snack.
spice too.
I do.
You're not mad about a bison protein? Would that hurt you when you're running takedowns or kung fu?
Running takedowns.
I don't really know.
Preach,
I don't
Callen.
speak
Preach,
I don't
Callen.
speak the fight language like you guys do.
Yeah.
But I know the shoulders go on for days. But why not pack on a little more muscle?
Now, what happens if I'm like, listen, I like it, but I need a discount?
I'm so glad you said that. You know, they're running a 40% discount. That's right. Until I think it's October 6th on all
what's
their
today?
exercise equipment. All right.
What is today?
It's not October 6th yet, so don't worry about it. Somebody
Getting
help
close,
me.
though.
Yeah,
I don't
The
pay.
countdown's coming.
Yeah. Oh, it's the 7th.
It's the 7th.
You right on, Callen. You fucking suck. I knew it. I just want to say 10% off.
Hey guys, you know what? It's not 40 anymore, but we'll give them 10.
Guess what?
You missed the 40, but
Hey,
we'll give
sorry.
you 10.
Those for you that are lazy and didn't listen to the previous shows, you missed 40% off.
But-
But what we can do, what
Great
we
negotiator.
will do, For this limited time only, 10% off.
Onnit.com.
Onnit.com/fighter. That's onnit.com/fighter. ONNIT.com/fighter.
Be like me, be like Brennan, be like Pat.
Mm.
Sriracha!
Sriracha!
Pat, back to you.
Patrick. Yeah, Pat was the guy everyone avoided. And for a long time, when I first came to California, Pat wasn't in the UFC yet. We had the same coach, Ryan Parsons, and Pat was in the UFC, but all the UFC guys who came through the gym, Pat was just beating the shit out of.
Yeah.
So it was only a matter of time.
Right.
But we didn't know what to do because I think, how many fights you have? 4?
I had
5?
Yeah, 4.
But no one would fight him on the
like,
regional
it was
circuit.
like one a year.
Yeah.
That was the frequency.
He was in training
awful.
camp for, I don't know, 300 days out of the year.
And
Because
then-
no one would fight him because his background and,
Yeah.
everyone knew he's tough. So we didn't know how he was going to get in the show. And so I'm going to let you fill people in how you got into the UFC. Because the reason I want Pat on this show is because Pat has a unique story. And a lot of people don't know it. People think you just got to the UFC, right? Made the call on short notice and fought DC.
Right.
But Pat's story is a story of really, failures and coming back and just kind of kicking it to the man.
That
for
is
real.
my story.
That's his story.
Yeah.
My story.
Like, it's an amazing story.
Well, I love hearing stuff
and that's
like
why
this.
he's here.
Because I do want to say that I think it was a little bit outrageous for the UFC to be like, hey, first fight?
No. Wait,
Yeah.
let him tell a
Yeah.
story
Go
before
ahead.
you throw that.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Tell your story,
you,
Pat.
you remember, like, at one point in training, you're like, so what's up, man? What'd you do this morning? Were you training or something this morning? I'm like, no, I worked this morning. And you're like, you got a job?
He looked tired. Like,
yeah,
every
like,
morning he
he's
looked
like, what's
tired.
going on with you, man?
Yeah.
Like, he
was
called me out.
Yeah, his energy was tired. Carry
Yeah.
on.
So I'm like, yeah, I just got this new job because, hard times have fallen on me. And so I got a job from 3:30 in the morning to like 9 in the morning.
Oh, that's
and then
perfect for a fighter.
Yes.
Oh.
I mean, that was really the only thing that would fit my schedule because I want to train at 10 and then I want to go train in the evening or whatever. So that's how I become Mr. Barista.
And so you're making coffee.
I'm making coffee. Well, I'm the baker I wake because I'm on super early shift. So I bake all the stuff in the morning. Yeah. It's ridiculous.
Where was this? What was it? Starbucks or?
This was no. It was a small place in Dana Point, and so I would, at the time, I like sold my car. Didn't like all I had was a bike, and so I would ride. I was like, all right, I need to find a job, and it's got to be close by, and it's got to be during these these little times, basically. So I rode my bike down the street, and in the morning, threw a headlamp on. Was like, all right, I'm gonna cruise down the street and take care of what I need to take care of. Do my baking. And then I literally worked in the drive-through window, trying to schmooze the old ladies of Dana Point. Here's your coffee, ma'am. Give me $1 tip.
Pat Cummins,
And
two-time
how
All-American.
old are you at this point? This is
Ooh, I'm 30, in my 31.
every bit of it.
Yeah.
That's
every
tough.
bit,
Yeah.
every bit of 31. But this is the reason I want Pat's story to get out. Think about the sacrifice Pat made and believed in himself.
Yeah.
Pat's a smart dude,
Yeah.
right? Educated dude from
Yeah.
Penn State.
And a decorated wrestler. And all that.
Decorated vet. So he has a ton of things to teach wrestling, do whatever. But he believed in the dream. So go on, Pat. Keep going.
Yeah.
Working these shitty hours.
Shitty hours.
And in a window at 30. It's tough.
Yeah, and there's one specific time I remember looking in the reflection of somebody's car, and just kind of looking at myself, and I was like, I'm 32 years old. What the hell am I doing right now? What? This is my life. I expected so much more. I'm at this point where I'm like, man, maybe I should let this dream die because it's just not happening. I have 4 fights. No one takes me seriously. We put in calls to Joe Silva all the time. Hey, man, what do you think about getting Pat in, or whatever? And she's like, come talk to me when he has 10 fights. And I'm like, it took me 4 years to get to this point, But it's like every story you hear, you keep putting one foot in front of the other, and you just make it work. And luckily, I worked that job for maybe a month and a half, and something happened. So
What happened?
Something happened.
Something happened.
Did it ever?
So Rashad Evans just got injured towards ACL. And he was supposed to fight Daniel Cormier. And I know Daniel from wrestling. We're in the same circuit. We never I mean, we wrestled a couple times, but we were never really the same weight class. He was always lower than me. But now, we're in the same, we're in the same weight class. Things can happen.
And you guys know each other from the national team, is that correct?
Yeah, we wrestle. Yeah, we wrestle on the national team, and so we train in Colorado Springs all the time. For the past 4 years, and so I see that happens, and I just send out a tweet. Hey man, I'd love to fight you. Nobody else is stepping up. Nobody else wants to take a fight. I'll do it. And at the time I have 300 Twitter followers. Like nobody even knows what I'm talking about.
Like,
it's like, okay, cool, good for you, man. Yeah. Keep that MMA dream alive.
Yeehaw.
So that's the night before I go to work the next day, early, crack ass to the dawn, and I get there. I'm working, and my phone is like blowing up all day. And my manager's trying to get a hold of me. And at the time, I'm living in his house, because I'm just like dead broke.
Right.
I'm living in his house. I just, and he's calling me up. I hear my phone's going off. It's busy in the coffee shop that day.
Making a fine roast, I bet.
Yeah, just really roasting it out.
I'll take a double macchiato, please. Wet. Make sure it's wet.
So I'm working, and all of a sudden, he comes busting in the door, like in the front of the door, and he's like in his jammies, he's got his sweatpants on and like t-shirt, and he's like, hey, what are you doing? And I'm like, I'm working, man. Give me like a half hour. I'll be done soon. Like, what do you keep calling me for? And he's like, do you want to take this fight? I'm like, what are you talking about? I'm like, what fight are you talking about? And like, so my manager's like of work steps in and is like, sir, you're disrupting the customers. Can you please step outside? So I'm like, I feel like I need to deal with this. She's like, just, give me 10 minutes and then I'll cut you loose. I'm like, okay. So he comes walking around the drive-through window, and he's like, hey, he's screaming over top of a car. There's a customer. Yeah. He's like,
he's the best.
Yeah. He's going to get into it.
Yeah.
And so he's like, hey, you want this fight? You gotta tell Dana right now. You want this fight? It can happen. It's gonna be real. And I'm like, hell yeah, I'll take this fight. I'm like, push the customer out. Hell yeah, I'll take this fight. What are you talking about? And so I'm like, hey, I turn to my boss. I'm like, hey, I gotta go talk to my manager here. Like, it's very important.
Yeah.
She's like, tell you what, why don't you just clock out? You're done. And like, I was like, did I just get fired? I was
See
like,
ya.
I don't care.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I like go outside. He sticks the phone in my face. I'm like, hello? Dana White's on the phone.
Wow.
And I'm like, I was just not expecting any of it. So the media wheels were turning. Ariel Helwani was really, really helpful in getting everything going, and just kind of laid the story out. And, he calls me up and says, hey, I hear you got this crazy story with Daniel. You made him cry in training camp.
This is what Dana says to you.
Yeah. And he's like, what's up with this story? Is any of this true? And I'm like, yeah, man, every word of it's true. What do you
want me to say?
Yeah. And he goes, you willing to say this on live TV? I'm like, absolutely. I'm like, whatever it takes, sign me up. So he's like, all right, we'll get the contract over. You're fighting. I was like, what? I was just like, no way.
And this is what, 6-day notice?
I think it was 8.
Yeah.
8 days notice. 8 days.
Fight
So
DC.
so now you got to fight this monster. And you know him from wrestling, but Daniel Cormier, we were talking about in the last podcast, is just a beast in every sense of the word. By the time you fought him, he had made work of Frank Mir and just so many. I mean, he picked Josh Barnett up threw him on his head. Yeah. It's just who is this guy?
Champion,
yes.
Strikeforce, yeah.
And so what was going through your head? Like what was your plan, or was it just a whirlwind? Like whatever, here goes whatever.
You know what? This is the second time you've asked me this question, because the very first time I met you, I don't know if you remember this.
I do.
We were doing Boss's show.
Yep.
And it was in the middle of the whirlwind, and I'm like going on this show trying to, like, I don't know what I'm doing, trying not to screw up basically.
Yeah.
And I see you guys, and you're like, oh, do you know Bryan? I'm like, oh, Schaub, what are you doing here, man? Yeah. He's like, oh, you know Bryan? You guys were pumping up the fighter and the kid.
Yeah, it was
doing
Inside
whatever.
MMA.
Inside MMA. That's what it's called.
Right.
And I just meet Bryan, and he's like, so You really think you're gonna win? What are you doing? You really.
First of all,
tell me this.
I don't talk that way. Make my voice deeper right now. Make my voice deeper right now. Stop making my voice so nasal.
Like you really honestly think you can step in there
I
and
feel
win this
sick.
fight? And I'm like,
Oh God.
I didn't say it that way.
and I
Damn
kind
it.
of like look at you. I'm like, who the fuck is this
sorry,
guy?
Pat.
I did not say it
so
that way.
sorry.
Like, hey, I got to fight in like 7 days. Shut up.
I wish you guys could see Pat because he's putting his neck. He's going. And so let me
giant
ask you
neck.
something. Are you guys? What was I? 4 feet tall? God damn it, Pat.
I think you would have took the fight if they said, "Hey, we need you to fight Cain Velasquez and Daniel Cormier at the same time, just to get in the UFC."
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
It didn't
that's your
matter.
shot.
No.
And to that fight, like I said, before that fight, I said I think people will be surprised. Like obviously, Pat has his work cut out for him, but they're gonna be surprised. No matter what happens, Pat's gonna have a great career.
Yeah.
Look at him now.
Yeah, exactly. And you were the first person to say that very loudly, at least
Very
here.
loud.
But what, like, do you feel like when you got in there, and this is kind of your dream, and it's your first day, did the noise and the lights, was it just overwhelming, or did you? Because you looked like you were, you're a competitor,
UFC
so you're kind of
jitters,
used
were
to
they
it.
real for
No,
you?
I mean, I didn't feel any of that. It just felt like another day. I was like, all right, I know what I need to do. I was strangely calm.
You know what the
It was just
thing is with Pat though, you're training with such high level guys, and you
Yeah.
really should have been there.
Yeah.
So it's a little different, I think, for you. I think
Because you were hanging with
experience
high
is
level
big.
guys all the time.
Oh,
Yeah.
beating the shit out of a lot of high level guys.
Yeah.
So we knew he should have been there.
Right.
And now I think you can tell by Pat's last couple fights. And I cornered you against Kingsbury, right?
Yeah.
We just
Yeah.
beat the brakes off that poor guy. And then so you see Pat getting better every single fight. And then now you win this next fight, which I think you will. It's a tough fight, right? Tough
Right.
matchup,
Absolutely.
man. Fuck, it's a tough matchup against Glover Teixeira.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
then you win him, it's off to the races. Now you're right back to where you
Yeah.
first started.
Yeah,
It's crazy,
exactly.
man.
Yeah.
I'm always curious with athletes, like of you guys, your caliber and stuff. Like I know a lot of it is probably instinct, and you have a very steep learning curve because you can go in and you can see something and put it in your arsenal, But I'm curious to know, besides the athleticism, because we always talk about how in MMA you've got to constantly evolve. Like it's just always changing, man. You see these guys come up and they're doing stuff, and you're like, how do I? And you've got to constantly change up your game. People are watching tape on you. They're watching what your tendencies are. That you've got a whole bunch of people who are saying, do this when he does that. So you've got to kind of always come up with a surprise. What is the mindset? Are you conscious of a certain mindset that you have when you go to practice every day, or is it just what you do?
No, I am. I think just recently now, because I've kind of been in that situation where I've had everything thrown at me, every kind of technique. Hey, why don't you try this? Why don't you do that? And it's just like any other competition. I took wrestling to almost the highest level, and the things that work best are the simple things, especially for me. Mm-hmm. So like shoot a single leg, shoot a double leg. Those are the that's your moneymaker.
The meat and potatoes.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So I'm starting to find that I've had all these different things thrown at me in the MMA world now that it's all my cues are all very simple. I tell myself, all right, I'm gonna move my feet, I'm gonna move my head, and I'm gonna keep everything real simple.
And
Stay behind the jab,
going back to
whatever.
the national team and All-American at Penn State and stuff like that, what separated those guys? Because on the national team, everyone's so damn good. What made the guys so great? Because most people will never, ever even, get to that level of anything.
Yeah.
Because you're talking about a room full of just the best of the best.
It's crazy.
So what separated the certain guys?
It's hard to say, really. I mean, it's at that point, it's more of a mental
Mindset
issue.
huh?
Yeah, I mean, it's just like, all right, I'm gonna be the best. I know I'm the best. This is why, and here I just showed you why.
I feel like in the UFC too and NFL, most of the time it's confidence.
Yeah.
Like
Oh,
all of
yeah.
us have tons of skills, but
Yeah.
it's the confident
How
guy
loose
who
are you?
believes in himself will usually win. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
And that's I mean, in an individual sport like wrestling or
Yeah.
MMA, I mean, it borderlines arrogance. Obviously,
Yeah,
you gotta
mindset.
have that. Yeah,
You almost have to, man.
yeah, my
You
shit
have
doesn't
to.
stink.
Yeah,
man.
you have to. Because if you don't believe in yourself, you're so screwed in this world, in this
Yeah.
sport.
But then you got to be willing to work on things you're not good at too. You
Yeah.
know, when
You gotta
you
be
go on
open
the
to
road.
it. Backtracking a little bit, a lot of people don't know this, but at Penn State, you were a walk-on.
Yeah, I
Correct?
mean that's kind of that's why this whole, my situation right now in the MMA world is it's my theme. This is my theme story.
Mm-hmm.
I take the hardest road possible, but somehow I make it work. Like on the back end, it works. I know it's gonna work, but I'm going way out and around, and ending up like you said, like this is where I should be right now.
Yeah.
And I started here.
Yeah.
It sucks.
Yeah.
So
you're going to get there. You're just taking the most difficult way possible.
Yeah.
Underdog.
A walk-on
That's
Penn
crazy.
State?
That's crazy.
Yeah. I mean, it sounds crazy, but I never placed in the state tournament in high school. Like
Really?
Oh yeah. I mean, I was like
Late bloomer.
I was decent, you know what I mean? But I just I didn't have the mindset, and I didn't concentrate on just wrestling. Like I was doing track, I was playing football, I was just kind of like doing everything.
stuff,
And
yeah.
just,
What did you do in track? What was your event?
I did the hurdles. I also threw the discus and the shot put.
And
That's
so
some speed.
that's crazy. So then from
say it
there,
was that fast.
so then you decide to. When did you decide to focus on wrestling and go straight to Penn State? Because Penn State's a powerhouse.
Yeah,
Superpower.
my senior year of it was between football and wrestling.
Okay.
And my senior year, we were awful. Our football team was awful, and it got to the point where I was like, I'm trying to do everybody's job right now, and I'm freaking out. Like it was too much stress, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go to this individual sport where I know my fate because it's in my hands.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm sticking to wrestling. This is what I'm gonna do. And I went that direction, but it wasn't like I was highly recruited or, you know what I mean? I had all these D1 offers and scholarships. It was like, all right, my big brother went to Penn State the year before. He placed, I think, 4th in the States. And that was enough to like get him on the team.
Yeah.
And, he's a good dude, works hard. And it was kind of like, all right, we'll see what your brother has to offer, even though he kind of sucks. Like but we need some big guys on the team. Like hopefully he'll pan out. And we won't cut him. So I was legitimately the last guy they took on the team, and I think coming in there was probably 12 freshmen, and I mean, Bryan, you probably know. Like you go to the state tournament when you're in high school and you see these guys, they're like. They have so much confidence, and they're walking around like gods, like their 6-pack bulging out of their singlet, and they're just like, yeah, I got this. And I'm just thinking, what am I doing in this room standing next to a bunch of these guys?
Yeah.
Like these guys, and we were like...
Hearing you say that is hilarious to me because I certainly felt that way. But hearing you say that...
But I mean, I was probably in the same, I was in the same boat as you. Like I was like, I was okay.
You didn't feel like
but
you
I wasn't
belonged.
like, I'm not kicking ass every time.
Is Phil Davis on the team at this point or no?
No, he was on later.
Gotcha.
So you kind of get to Penn State, this
Stumble into Penn State, really.
semi underachiever.
Yeah.
These guys are all better. They've been taking wrestling more seriously, maybe. And now you're in a room full of killers. It's either sink or swim. Was there a decision to be great, or did you just have to fucking step it up?
There was one specific time. I'll tell a really quick story.
I love these moments.
As a freshman, I redshirted. You go to open tournaments. You kind of pay your own way, and you go to all the open tournaments around the area that you can get to just to get experience, because you can't compete on the university's dime. You're a redshirt. So, we go to a couple open tournaments. I'm doing awful, and finally, I'm like awful. You know what I mean? I'm like
getting beat up.
Yeah, like a month into practice, just
Paying
practice.
for it.
Yeah, I'm like, I gotta tell you, I kind of feel like this isn't for me. You know,
Well,
like
because
I'm
that was the
getting
image of yourself in a way, right? I mean,
yeah, and I'm just like, boy, and I ended up placing 3rd at this open tournament, and I was kind of like,
all right.
oh yeah, But the guy, so I come back, and I talk to the coaches, and my coach that I always train with, Dave Hart, awesome guy, and he kind of looks at me and goes, took 3rd, huh? And like he knew that he was fucking with me, but because like anybody would be like, man, great job, how did you pull that off?
Yeah.
And he just goes, who'd you lose to? I go, I lost to this guy, Tommy Rollins, maybe something like that. And he's like, well, that's the guy you're gonna have to beat if you want to be a national champion, And I'm like, at the time, I'm like, I don't even know if I want to be a national champion. Like, I suck at wrestling. Like, really? Like, I'm kind of doing this, but I have no business doing it.
Yeah.
So
You're just there.
Yeah, I'm just kind of there. I think back on that match, and man, I got my ass kicked so bad. Like I've never shot in on somebody and have them not touch me with their hands and like just hip into me. I just fall on my ass. Like I'm a big guy and I'm like going full bore at you, shooting hard, and he just like twists his hip and I sit on my ass. Like what just happened?
Damn.
He beats me by 14 points.
It's a lot.
It's a lot. It's like the mercy rule.
Yeah,
in
I lost
baseball.
17-3, I think.
Yeah,
in
like
high school.
Like
Very humiliating.
at 15.
Sorry, man. Sorry, but I know something about losing by a lot of points. Is all I'm trying to say. Yeah, wrestling.
Carry on though.
You played football. Don't worry about
Penn
it.
State.
Pat,
Penn
talk to me.
State.
Pat, look in my eyes. Keep
Right.
going.
Penn State.
Carry on.
Right
Carry
here.
on with your story
No,
at Penn
but-
State.
So
Carry on.
We're brothers. We're wrestling brothers.
So I'm like, man, I got a long way to go if I'm gonna beat that guy. And at that moment I kind of thought, it took me a little while, but I was like, you know what? If I'm gonna be going through the motions for the next 4.5 years of this, I might as well give it everything I have, and I might as well try to be the best. There's no point in doing it. Either that or I should just stop right now.
Yeah.
And I just said, all right, I'm gonna beat that guy. I'm gonna really
That was the
legitimately
goal.
set my goal. I'm gonna be a national champ. And from that point on, I wrestled that dude every single year. And I didn't know, because I wasn't like really in the wrestling community. He was the number 1 recruit in the entire nation.
Jesus Christ.
And like was just a complete monster. And so I wrestle him at least twice a year, just kind of like in a random tournament or whatever's going on, a couple dual meets. And like first time I wrestle him, I lose by 14. then I lose by like 9. Then
That's a lot.
yeah, I mean it's still
It's not competitive, but yeah, it's not competitive.
It's a lot of points to lose in wrestling.
But getting better.
So, yeah, I'm getting better, slowly getting better.
Getting better.
Then I lose by 6. I'm like,
Okay,
okay,
getting
think I got
closer.
this guy figured
Figuring
out.
him out.
Then I lose by 2.
Ooh.
What happens the next time?
You beat him?
Fucking beat him.
Wow.
Yeah. So I end up beating him twice. And I like
Fuck Tommy. That was his name?
yeah. But
Damn.
I'll tell you what, he's a nice guy.
Still.
But so that was kind of like my thing, and so I was like, without really without completing my goal, I was like, that's pretty much my goal. I have to
Yeah,
beat this
man, that was
guy.
a big
Like this is the
deal.
guy I have to beat. So I'm feeling good. I'm number 1 in the country right now. I'm the guy to beat, and I wrestle him. We probably wrestle each other 12 times. I don't know, like so many times.
Yeah.
So, because we were both in the Big Ten, so we'd see each other at conference, and we'd see each other at NCAAs. We'd see each other in dual meets all the time, every tournament. So, at Big Tens, it's tied up. I just take them down, third period, like end of the match, and there's like 30 seconds left. All I have to do is ride him out, and we'll go to overtime, and I'll beat him. I decide I need to put a message in this dude's head. He's never gonna beat me ever again, like ever. So I cut him loose, give him a point for the escape, and I'm like, I'm gonna take you down 30 seconds just to get in your head. You know what I mean? Because in 2 weeks,
You gotta
national
see him again.
tournament.
Yeah,
like
I
got
gotta get
national
into his
tournament.
head.
I gotta get into him. So I come up short, don't get the takedown.
Oh, man.
I lose my number 1 rank. You know what I mean? So now I'm like on the other side, like a number 2 ranked guy coming to nationals, and I'm like, now I kind of put the stress on myself. Like, all right, I gotta go in there and win this match. Long story short, I don't really tell people that story, but I end up losing in the finals, and it was kind of like, just like that thing that just like,
sucks.
yeah, it just sucks.
You were
That-
still a 2-time
that
All-American.
thing
Yeah.
whispering in your ear.
Well,
that's
Dan
like,
Gable
you
always
never
talks
did it.
about how he still remembers that one time he lost in high school, and he knows everything about it and still talks about
You
it.
don't really talk about wins, right? You really talk about losses. You really
Well, the
focus on
only-
your losses.
Yes.
I'll tell you what, I've had guys come up to me. They're like, "Man, I wrestled you in college. You remember that?"
Not
I'm
a
like,
chance.
Absolutely.
That means
not,
you beat
man."
him.
Yeah,
That means you
like,
beat him, yeah.
Yeah. He's like, "You kicked my ass." Like, probably did.
Don't remember.
The only guys I remember are the guys I lost to.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah,
Isn't it weird?
you
Yeah.
You
define.
remember it vividly.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
remember the
Yeah.
losses, whatever it is, football, UFC, wrestling. You remember the losses super vividly.
But I think it's because you're trying so hard. Like when you are doing the best you can, like just even for stand up, like the other night I did 3 shows. My first show, whatever reason, it was whatever. Then I had two of the best shows I've ever had in my life at the Laugh Factory Comedy Store. Did I think about those two shows? Nah. I woke up in a bad mood, and I woke up as though I had some unfinished work, and all I was thinking about was that shitty set I did before.
That's how we're
means
wired.
Nothing.
That's the
I read a
difference.
thing. That's how we're wired.
It's the drive.
That's how we're wired.
Yeah.
Your brain remembers negative thoughts better than positive.
Okay, but let me ask you this. Like for me, like I always
It's
think about
science.
It's
No, for real.
It's
It's science.
It is.
It is.
Or,
That's
but
funny,
also,
it is.
I think with driven people, like in your mind, like for me, I always think somebody says, what's your sort of mission? I don't know. I just know that for me, I just would like to continue to try to be as original as I can, right? I don't want to be I just want to see what I'm really made of at the end of the day. You know, if I'm made to be a silly goose, then let me be the best silly goose I can be, and let's see if I can do 7, 8, 10, 1 hours by the time I'm dead. What do you think? Do you ever think about what drive? That's kombucha. It's kombucha.
God, it's just like pure piss.
It's pomegranate.
Nah.
Oh, it's adorable.
That's BB flavor.
Come on, man.
Come on,
Come on, man.
Put some sriracha in that.
Sriracha!
You know what it is about losses though. It's about never being content. Like you're not going to get to Pat's level or any UFC level or professional sport level or high level.
Yeah.
Being content with what's going on.
So the goal for you guys obviously is the belt.
Yeah.
And then do you ever think about, because we talked to Rashad Evans about this, like he got the belt and he was in his room, he's like, this is kind of a letdown here.
Oh, I'll never forget that. Rashad got the belt and I see him the next week and he goes,
Yeah.
well, not what you think. That's what Rashad
Is that
told me. He goes-
weird?
Rashad goes, I feel no different.
Damn!
He goes, back to the grind.
Right. And then it begs the question, like, what the fuck am I doing? Or what is really driving me? Like, what is it? Maybe just sense of, I don't know, a lack of completeness or something like that, or I don't know.
But
I
mean,
know.
after a while, like I know at least with wrestling, and you probably know it with football. Like you get to a certain point, you've let it run its course, and you're like, all right, I'm gonna move on to something
You have
else.
to.
Like yeah, because you need to stay stimulated. Like
Yeah.
you can't. I need challenges. Like
too,
if
man.
I don't have
100%.
if I don't go into something where I don't feel challenged, it's not that fun anymore.
Well, you need a purpose.
Yeah.
you need
I think a
purpose.
lot of it has to do with mystery. Like, I think a lot of it has to do with, like,
Not knowing what's next.
also trying to figure out something like fighting, you know, like what I love about MMA for me when I talk to you guys, I'm such a fan because to me it's a mystery. Like to me, how you guys get in there and fight on that level for 5 rounds or 3 rounds is a mystery. It's fascinating to me because I have a little bit of an idea of the kind of sacrifice it would take, but the skill level is crazy to me, right? So when that sort of mystery breaks down, you know, I know you've kind of been in there for so long that of course you had more room to grow, but the mystery itself seems to have,
You're saying for me?
yeah, right? I mean, a little bit. And so then once that is, it's like, then now you need at least a new challenge where you're a new adventure where you're not sure what's going to happen next.
Well, I think for
You know?
me, I can just see where this is going. Like I know how
Yes.
this movie ends.
Yes.
I don't want to do that movie. I'm gonna do this movie.
Fuck, dude, they say
I'm gonna hire this director and do this movie.
They
'Cause
say-
the director of this movie, that's not a fun ending for me.
That's
No matter what happens, it's not a fun ending.
It's not a happy
No matter
ending.
how many fights I win, that ending's not fun.
But they say that about relationships. Like these marriage counselors talking about marriage, and one thing said was, she goes, the mystery in a relationship is really important because as soon as you know everything about the person and you know where this fucking thing is going, man, you don't want to fuck anymore. But when there's some, but it's true. Yeah. When there's some shit going on where you still can't really put a leash on that person, you can't really. You're still working for it, you know?
Yeah, you got to mix it up.
You got to mix it up, Brendan.
We
Brendan,
mix it up.
you got to mix it up.
Mix it up.
Mix it the fuck up.
Speaking of mixing it up, I don't. You can talk about it if you want, Pat, or not. Pat did some jail time.
I did some.
Pat did some jail time.
That's it.
Hold. And
Sriracha!
we're back. Sriracha coming in hot.
Jail time brought to you by Pat Cummins Sriracha.
Good luck holding him down, gentlemen.
How long were you in jail for, Pat?
It was
20
a
years.
stretch enough to be like, oh, this sucks. Let me get out of here.
Are you cool to talk about it? Or we can edit it out.
No,
or
definitely.
whatever
But
you
I
want.
feel like
You did a stretch.
I feel like
You did
to
some
really
time.
to really understand like what the hell are you doing? Like why? You
It's
go to
interesting,
jail?
man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like it doesn't make sense. Anybody that really knows me is like, what? Like
When someone told me, I'm like, Pat?
yeah.
Pat went to prison?
Yeah.
Listen, if it makes you feel better, I got some good friends who went to jail for a while, so don't worry about it. Keep
Yeah.
going.
Yeah. No, I mean,
Because it was like a prank, like a college prank or something that went wrong, or
yeah.
Pat
Yeah.
killed a guy. No, I'm just
Yeah.
kidding.
Woo.
Yeah.
So, no, but to really like understand the story, you kind of have to know a little bit more of my back. I mean, we covered like the college years, but
Athletic years,
I grew up. My dad was the principal of my high school, and so I walked a very straight line. You know what I mean? And like, man, that dude was a hardcore guy. Like he was very intimidating, and like he was all about respect and honesty, and like I don't know if you guys have this, but man, my dad, like if even probably into my high school, college years, if my dad got a certain tone of voice and a certain body language, I'd cry immediately.
For sure, man.
I'm like,
terrified.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, terrified.
Yeah.
So like,
Yeah.
I walked a very straight line, you know, and it was like, all right, and I did, and I have great values for that, you know. It like.
So who made you are today?
Yeah,
for sure.
I mean that's who I am, and just like, I'm the kind of guy that like I would like if I was using your pen to sign something and I accidentally took it with me, I'd probably come find you and give it back. Be like, yeah, I stole your pen. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And I ended up going to jail for stealing things from a fraternity. And I'm like, I would never steal something ever. And I've thought about it for a long, long time. And I'm just like, why?
Was it just like a prank? It was like a group of guys and went to this frat house?
Yeah, but I mean, just like anything else, that's how it starts. And then, then you kind of,
rascally
like
bunch.
it's like, boy, that was exhilarating.
It was fun.
Yeah.
Let me
And
steal
once the high comes down, it's like, we stole some stuff.
Yeah.
This isn't good.
Yeah. And that's how it was. And and I'm the kind of guy that, I've been it's been instilled in me. You tell the truth, like honesty, honesty. So I get arrested by the cops and I just tell them everything.
You snitched on everyone.
Well, I didn't snitch on it, but I just said, look, this is what I did. I'm so sorry. I don't know what I was thinking. I'm really embarrassed. This is not my character. I'm so sorry. I did this, and this.
You're like a 19-year-old kid in college.
And I'm trying like basically
trying to give it back.
My time to fuck up when you're a teenager.
Yeah.
Like that passed because I was under such heavy watch. And
now
now I'm like fresh out of college.
Little
and
freedom.
I'm getting in trouble. Like what?
I got a story for you after this, but keep going.
Keep going.
So I basically incriminate myself, but I'm like, listen, I took this from this place, and I took this from I'm like trying to find the rightful owner and do the honorable thing.
Yeah,
like, okay,
that's the way the law works, though, is it?
No. And like I'm the I don't know that. I've never been in trouble before. I don't I'm like, yes, Mr. Officer, this is I'll tell you the truth. Boy, never ever do that.
No.
Never do that.
They always say don't talk to the police.
Yeah.
Cops will tell you that.
Somehow I missed that.
Yeah.
So
you do that, they throw you in jail in Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
They give you real jail time.
And for how long are we talking about here? You're like Andy Dufresne in this bitch? What are we talking about here?
I think it was 7, 8 months.
It's a
Okay,
long
that's a long
time.
time.
It's a long fucking
bro.
It was a long
time.
time.
Bro.
Was that county jail, or did you didn't go to
It was
state
county
pen?
jail.
Okay.
Which they say is a lot more violent
Oh,
than
it
the prisons because there's
sucks.
a lot of hostile it's an environment where people don't want to be there, right?
7 or 8 months. Oh my.
How did you pass the time? What would you say you do?
Did you bang guy?
Aryan Nation. No, but the thing is, Pat.
Started shaving my head.
Aryan Nation.
Let's be real.
Is that where you got that swastika on your chest that you cover with makeup every time you fight in the UFC?
No, you know what? The way I disarmed you guys with siracha.
Boom.
I got a gig in the kitchen my very first day, and I'm kind of like the new guy. I made everybody hummus. People that go to county jail don't know what hummus
You made everyone hummus?
I made everyone hummus. I was like, guys,
great.
try some hummus.
They're like,
And
that big swole guy's friendly.
Yeah,
Fuck,
wow.
man. You don't have to
He's
worry
the
about him.
nicest guy ever.
I would imagine people didn't really fuck with you because of your ears and you're
nobody's
substantial.
fucking- Yeah,
No fights at all in there.
No. And like I'm kind of known from the area. Like people are like,
For wrestling.
You're that wrestler
Yeah,
guy
your
that got in
ears.
trouble. What's wrong? Like why? Why'd you do that? But nobody would really.
Yeah.
Nobody would.
Did you cry every night? I can't imagine them closing that thing. I would just be like, see ya. Just fucking.
God.
Yeah. It was. I mean,
I didn't do it. I'd be like the guy who dies the first night in prison in Shawshank Redemption, the fat fish.
Yeah.
I'm the fat fish.
Yeah.
No, I didn't do it. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Were you just? I can't imagine, man. No, like, have you ever talked? I've never talked to anyone who's actually been through it.
I
Were
spent
you
a week in county jail in Miami just to hang around and be around all those guys. County jail in Miami.
Just to hang around?
So Pat,
To write this TV show, and it was fucking. Okay. I was so traumatic because I saw a guy get stabbed 12 times, and then I went to the psych ward, and I broke out into psoriasis, and I was just watching, and I was so stressed for the guys. It was so horrible because they put them all in those cells, and I was like, well, this is fucking terrible.
But you've lived it, Pat. So
Yeah.
When that door locked the first night, what are you thinking?
Yeah. I mean, I was just like, I really man, I fucked up. And but I mean, I can't tell you exactly what was going through my head at that moment. I could probably look back at my journal and
I'd love to get a hold of that journal and read it live on air.
I was the kind of guy that was like, man, this is the shittiest part of my life, but it's very important that I document what's going on and like my emotions and everything that happens. And it's it kind of puts me back in check if I'm feeling really good about something or I'm getting too big for my britches. I'll sit down and read a couple pages of my journal. And boy, it knocks me right back down in
Remember,
reality.
old Pat went to jail.
Yeah.
It's so intense, man.
Yeah.
And when you got out, were you just so relieved?
Yeah. I mean, I did so many things to pass. I mean, you wouldn't believe, but I read an insane amount of books.
You read a ton of books.
Yeah.
What else?
Yeah, I mean,
You got cooked, made hummus,
super creative with workouts. Made food for everybody.
Did you make some good friends? Or you just stayed to yourself?
The one thing that my dad told me going in, don't make any friends, I'm like, okay, Dad.
Yeah, he didn't want you to get into graduate school for criminals.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He didn't want you to get your PhD in
because
crime.
honestly, I mean, it's a long road to get back from something like that.
Yeah.
Bro, what are we taught? Prison?
Yeah.
Jail?
Yeah.
I mean, I remember being probably 20, and young men do stupid shit.
Yeah.
They
And
just
young
do.
men, they do, and they come up with these plans. And I remember, I want to tell you who it is when we're off the air because I
I
can't.
bet I can guess.
No, and so we were young, and my friend said he was with his brother, and I'm not kidding, or his cousin or whatever. He said, I laughed saying it. He goes, "Do you want to rob a jewelry store with us?" And I go, and I was like, and I remember I'm being intrigued. I remember being, I should probably do a crime because a man should have a story like that when he gets
Gotta
older.
get some dirt
doing
on
a
you.
crime. And I said, I mean, how would we do it? And he goes, don't worry about it, but we know there's a window we can break in and steal their shit. And I was like, that's a risky thing. I go, what if they're in there? And he goes, when his cousin goes, what if they're in there? Don't worry about it. And I was like, I didn't want to look like a pansy. And for me, again, it wasn't people we were robbing. It was an adventure. And I was
Yeah.
like, let's see if I got the balls. And they were kind of challenging me with their tone. And I was like, I'm not a pussy.
Yeah.
And obviously I
how it
went,
starts.
I thought about it for about 5 seconds.
Once you got
and I
home,
went,
you're like, nah.
yeah, that's a bad idea.
Not for you.
No upside at all. And hey, look, all these diamonds. Let's sell them on the black market. You're an idiot. But I remember.
At age 16, we're going to hustle diamonds on the black market.
Hey, guys, let's
That's
sell
gonna turn
these.
out great.
Guys, we made it big. We're on
16.
Easy Street now,
Yeah.
guys. Yeah. But I remember fucking having to check myself because I remember young men do dumb as shit stuff. Drive too fast, get in fights, shoot a gun out a window, whatever the fuck it is, and your
But
whole
all
life
that's
changes.
different than stealing or robbing a jewelry store.
I don't know, man. I was like, that sounds pretty like an adventure that I could
I've
tell
never
a
had that
story
desire.
about.
Never.
You know what? That's kind of how this whole thing got. I got in trouble with a buddy of mine.
Yeah,
and
for sure.
It
could've
was
told you
like, it was a guy that I wanted to be close with because I knew he was struggling. He was
Yeah.
struggling. And he came from a different place, and like I just wanted to help him out. Like he would. In college, he would come home with me for breaks. Like he had a rough family life.
He was your boy.
I won't say his name.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it just kind of like it was my good intention, and then it evolved into, oh no, I'm gonna convince you to do something that you don't want to do.
That's what gangs are.
And it just so happened that I was in.
That's how Charles Manson works.
Yeah, I was in the point
Extreme
of
case.
my life where I was like, man, I've done absolutely everything right. I've walked the line so hard. I've done everything, and I came up short. In it sounds stupid, but at the time, I want to be a national champ. Nobody remembers second place. Yeah. And I was just so disheartened. I was just like, man, I don't know why. But maybe I'm doing something. Maybe I do need to do something. Like I see these other guys always out drinking, doing dumb shit, and it's like, man, maybe I need to mix it up. Maybe I need a little dirt on me, and things will somehow work out.
You talk about that.
Callen the exact same thing.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make any sense. But there was a time there, especially right after the Trash Brown fight, I'm like, maybe I need to start doing some shit. Maybe I need to go to the dark side and get on some shit and fucking start trying drugs and maybe get a DUI and just do all this random shit. I would never do that.
Imagine if you had a buddy that was like, "Hey man, like
that's a good idea."
He knew when
you're a young guy
or position, and
I'm a grown ass man. I would have done it.
Yeah, like
you could convince me right now, Pat.
Yeah. Hey,
well, but that's gang psychology.
Now.
You get a young kid. He's in a gang. He wants to be accepted and cool and tough.
Yeah.
And then they say, go rob that store or whatever.
But this is with Pat though. We're the same here because same thing. I walked the line. No one worked harder than me. So you check all the boxes and you're like,
everything
what
right.
The fuck, man.
Yeah.
And then you look over at this guy. I'm like, all right, well, this guy or gal smokes weed every night.
Yeah.
Eats like shit. Misses practices, stays up late, stays out with their friends.
Yeah.
They're not getting the proper rest. I'm obsessed with the sport.
Why
isn't this happening?
That fucks with you so bad.
Maybe I care too much. Maybe I need to start doing some shit like they're doing because they're more successful than I am.
Man.
It's a weird
You know what though? It's a dance.
Like
it's
saying
that.
People are gonna be like, "That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard."
I don't expect anyone to understand.
It's not because it's the same. I'm sorry, but acting is the same fucking way. Where I would sit there, I'd be in class. Rogan used to make fun of me. I'd be in class twice a week. I would get ready for my auditions. I'd hire somebody to work with me. And the problem was that I was taking it. I was obsessing about it so much, and I wanted it so badly that when it came down to the final audition, sometimes I'd tighten up. I choke because I wanted it so bad, and I had to learn the psychology of kind of wanting something but letting it go at the same time. That's a huge part of fucking success. You see guys in sports with golf and things like that where they just tighten, just when at the last moment, that putt, they tighten a little bit. And it's the guys that can keep their mindset, their head clear in when it really counts. And, acting is weird that way. I remember this. I'd get to the final thing and I would push. I'd fucking push. I'd suddenly not be in the moment, and I'd just do something, and I wasn't really me, and I wouldn't get it.
I remember in football, we were in the Big 12 championship, or a huge game, playing like Texas or Oklahoma. After every home game, my roommates would throw these huge parties. I was the only guy not drinking. Yeah. The only guy not drinking.
I'm the same guy, man.
And then I wasn't drinking, and I'd be focusing on the game next week, and I'd be thinking about who I'm going to go against. And then my buddy, who's way more talented than me, is blacked out drunk, and I'm taking care of him. And then he plays the next game. I play all right.
So
he scores 4 touchdowns.
So
fuck.
So if you can go back, as that guy, what do you do differently? Do you think? I mean, do you think that you would have?
I definitely missed out on. It leads you to a certain road, right? Being that disciplined. Same with Pat, but I definitely missed out on some good times.
Let's talk about discipline for a second.
It's a different college experience.
For 100%, because I was all business. While
my
buddies enjoyed the process. I never enjoyed it.
You were worrying. Yeah. It sounds like you had you were worried all the time about.
Am. Well, you're going shoulder to shoulder with guys that are so much better than you already, and you're like, okay, here I am. I'm showing up. I'm gonna be just as good as you.
Yep.
I mean, man, all right. I see these guys getting drunk. I'm not drinking.
Yep.
I'm gonna do everything right.
I'm gonna
train. Yeah, I'm gonna train twice. I'm gonna do whatever it takes.
When I would watch Anderson Silva sometimes before he'd go to fight, he'd be dancing. He would literally be dancing to music. If you see a lot of his fights, he's doing this
he's relaxed.
John
does the same thing.
And he's just doing this ramba ba 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 and keeping himself like it's keeping it playful or whatever to borrow Huron's saying. Yeah, and that feels like sort of a mental trick that you do. A lot of times we ask ourselves.
Those are extreme cases.
Yeah, they are.
You look at other guys. Most guys aren't like that.
Well, I understand, but I'm saying I wonder if there's a lesson there because so much of it is like they always tell you like athletes or anybody like you have this primary question in your head, which is usually what if I fail? Am I good enough? All that stuff. And there's one idea of sports psychology which says change that question. Reprogram your brain.
I don't buy that.
No?
I don't buy that. I think that's all a crock of shit. I think when you get to a certain level, either you have it or you don't. You can see all the mental coaches you want. Trust me, I've seen them all. I've talked to them all over my 10 years of professional sports.
Yeah.
And people who say that, they've never been there.
Yeah.
Oh, just change your mindset. Oh, really?
It's
Oh, change your mindset.
Yeah.
Oh, and then I'm going to beat John Jones. Change my mindset.
Yeah.
It doesn't
Well,
work that way.
I do think you can change your mindset, but I agree with you that
No, you're talking about a very 1% high
Yeah.
level
Yeah.
where mindset, whatever it is,
Yeah,
it
they
does
have it
not-
all. They have it all.
does not matter,
Yeah.
Bryan.
Like Ronda just has it. Ronda just is going in there no matter fucking what, Brazil, whatever. She's just gonna win, and she just knows it. You know.
It's true.
I do think you can change your mind, and I do think you can change
No.
your mindset. You know.
can change your mindset. However, if you change your mindset, like if you change your mindset, you're still not going to beat John Jones. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I
at
agree.
a high level,
I agree.
at a high
Yeah,
level,
yeah.
what we're talking about
Yeah.
in professional sports.
Yes, I agree.
Go ahead and change your mindset. Let me know how it goes for you.
Yeah, I mean.
Because you're not going to get to that point without having a positive mindset.
Right.
So that's not the answer to it.
Right.
There's a skill thing here.
100%.
Yeah.
My experience with a sports psychologist, I worked a lot with one in college.
Yeah.
You know, and his whole, I mean, it wasn't, I'm going to change your mindset. It was, I'm going to tweak a couple of things that I know you're thinking about.
Yep.
And I'm going to lead you down a different path. I'm going to show you a different way. Like,
Give me an example.
like for me, I mean, I know that I'm not good. All these guys are decorated wrestlers already, and I'm coming in like, who am I?
Yeah.
How am I going to go beat that guy? You know, but you trick yourself into doing it. You know, hey, let all that go. That's not you know, without actually saying that. You know, hey, cue on this. You know, I'm gonna work on these things to get better. When you get taken down and you walk out of bounds, you know, take a moment, look down at your shoelace, you know, and reset. Like that's your cue to reset everything, and just kind of all right, get back to work.
Because
you know,
it's the negative thoughts, nipping the negative
Yeah.
thoughts in the
That
bad.
happen
'Cause
while you're
without
competing.
realizing
Or
that
before
thought's
you
in the back of your head.
Yeah. Which is natural.
Well, I mean, I almost think that's kind of like the whole point as you get older, you know, going through the fire like this and trying to get really good at something. Whether or not you reach the number one, number two, whatever, the fact is that you begin to learn how to master your own mind and master everything about yourself. And it may not be when you're 32, it might be when you're 50, but that is certainly where to always keep placing yourself. And I think that's when you really kind of learn who you are. You know, that's the whole goal, is to really know who the fuck you are.
Is your fight in Brazil, Pat?
Yep.
Is this your second time Brazil? Right?
This is my third out of 4 fights in Brazil.
What?
Yeah.
Boy, someone
Against
likes
Glover.
Yeah. I'm the favorite.
Send the white boy.
It's going to be a very good
But
fight.
you know
got
what,
a couple
though?
of monsters.
Every time I go into a fight in Brazil, I like being the guy that, you know, nobody's cheering for me. I have no distractions. I don't have, you know, my phone is off.
Doesn't even work out there.
Yeah, it doesn't work. I don't have people texting me, hey, good luck, man. You know, and like I'm the kind of guy that fight week, don't bother me.
Yeah.
Don't even. I know you mean well. Don't bother me. And like
You fought Feijiao before, right?
I fought Feijiao,
Feijiao, yeah.
and then I fought Antonio Carlos Jr., the
That's
Ultimate
right.
Fighter
Winner,
Brazil
yeah. He's
winner,
fought
yeah.
some monsters, man.
Yes, he has.
I'd love for you to. This is my plan for you. I don't know if you've thought about it. I'd love to see you beat Glover and then call out Ryan Bader.
Yeah.
And then back to the title, my man.
Yeah.
That's the plan.
Yeah.
I can see that. I can see that happening.
There's definitely a good road in front of me.
Yes.
But
Let's focus on this one, then we'll figure it out.
there's one
Let's
thing.
go
one
to
thing in
current
the way.
events with Evan the Beard. What do you got, Ev?
Got some good ones today.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, yeah.
Ooh.
I figure we'll start us off with a real shitty situation.
Oh boy.
Is it another shooting?
Oh no, that was a shit pun.
I saw
That was
this.
a poo-poo pun.
I saw this.
See if we can turn
I didn't
this
see
around
this.
for
What
ya.
happened?
Oh, you'll see. This
Well,
is
those
a,
are two out-of-shape men with
it is.
shin guards on.
This is tough to see, guys. I've seen it.
Beautiful guillotine technique, said one. No, why are
Now,
they so fat?
now watch the canvas.
I already saw it.
You saw it too, Pat?
Yeah, I saw that already.
It's not a good situation.
Ooh. Yeah, he shit his pants all over the mat.
There
It's
it is.
down in it.
Oh, it's just dripping.
It's dripping out of his pants.
Oh, that's
guy's-
doo-doo, baby.
Yeah, that guy's moving
That's
out of the
doo-doo,
way.
baby. Well, that's explosive diarrhea where I come from. Listen.
The ref's like, I don't want anything to do with
The
it.
ref goes, oh, no.
It's a ring of E. coli, a ring of E. coli, a ring of hepatitis. You know what kills that kind of stuff? You know what kills poo-poo?
Flames.
Sriracha! Pat Cummins,
Sriracha!
sriracha!
Pat Cummins sriracha.
Bacteria cannot live
you
in
know
them
what?
hot peppers.
You know what causes you to shit your pants in the octagon?
Sriracha! Sriracha!
Oh, that's tough.
There it is. Hey,
Next-
thanks for the zoom in on the poo-poo. Oh, no. What did he eat?
Well,
Nuts?
it looks
like
like
he ate a
peanuts.
bunch of nuts.
Bunch of nuts.
Bro, said Brazil nuts. Those are big nuts.
Hey, worst case scenario.
Run away, sir.
Right before you go out there, your coach goes, what's the worst that can happen? What, you can shit your pants? Yeah.
Yeah.
That's exactly what happened.
Hey, bro, run away, please. Terrible tattoos, and I feel bad for him. I feel bad for that man in every single way.
Look how disappointed everyone is. He walks by and the crowd's going like this. And he lost.
Parting
he
of the Red
lost,
Sea.
shit his pants, and the entire arena hates him.
Yeah.
That's the worst outcome of all time.
You know what? Can I tell you something? That's a low point for him. And you
Listen to
either,
this podcast,
You gotta
get
come
right
back.
back on your
You gotta
feet.
come back.
you got to
Could
come
be
back, brother.
worse.
Only one way to go.
That's right. You mark that moment. You were in that jail cell going, this is my low point. You just mark those moments and you go, I'm going to lose weight. I'm not going to poo my pants anymore. And I'm not going to eat sriracha before I fight.
Or you know what you do? You go, maybe this isn't for me.
Maybe.
Maybe
By the way,
this isn't for me.
maybe it ain't for me.
I have shin guards on. I'm severely overshape. And I just shit my pants.
Yeah. Overshape or out of shape?
Out of shape.
Or overshape.
Depends what kind of
Overshape.
shape we're talking.
Yeah, overshape.
Pear
He is
shape.
overshaped.
Overshape.
He's
I-
over pear
I look
shape.
like the letter 8 with legs. And now
I
got-
just shit my pants,
Yep.
and maybe this isn't for me.
and they have to throw away the entire cage because he's not going to disinfect that. Time to throw away the cage, please.
I'll tell you this right now. There's no way that was the main event. So, guys, they had to clean it
Yeah.
up, and guys had to go in there and fight.
Oh, God damn it.
All stand-up fights, all knockouts here on out. What else you got, Evan?
I'm wearing shoes. I'll throw them away.
It smells like pure shit
Do not
in
take
here.
me to the ground. I'll give you a lot of money.
Let's just fight in the crowd, huh?
Ah.
What do you got, Evan?
All right, next one. TJ Dillashaw leaving Team Alpha Male, going to Colorado to train with Dwayne and this new Muscle Farm team that apparently they're just throwing and dumping money on top of.
Guess who knew about this weeks ago?
You did.
Because my old head coach, Lisa Bowling's the head coach over at Muscle Farm Gym. They're paying the top UFC guys to train there now, and they got a great team with Elliot Marshall, Lisa Bowling, Christian Allen, and then Dwayne's going to be helping out. So they got some killers over there, man. Yeah. So TJ Dillashaw is the first to go, and there'll be some more announcements.
And real quick, I know we're getting a lot of heat. At least I am for
least I am.
going bad on Ariel Helwani. I never went bad on Ariel Helwani. I like Ariel Helwani. I think he does a great job. All I was saying, and I stand by, was that if you're going to have Uriah on for an hour, then, and I know, from what I heard, Dwayne had been on 6 episodes before, and Ariel had a huge roster that he had to fill, that people are already booked. But I'm just saying that, maybe he should probably have Dwayne on as well to answer to that. I stand by that. But I like
This
I
is
like
what
Ariel.
else? Yeah, Ariel. We love Ariel. I
whatever.
just talked to Ariel the other day. We text back and forth. You got to realize Bryan's not in the MMA world. So when Bryan says, all right, Uriah came on and then Dwayne didn't, and there's a reason why Dwayne didn't. Trust me, I'm not going to go into it. But he didn't have Dwayne on right after that.
Right.
So, yeah. So
But you want to hear the rebuttal.
Yes.
I want to
So
hear the rebuttal.
you-
It's only fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all. And that's my opinion. I stand by it. So, I'm not criticizing Ariel for it. I'm just saying that would have been prudent for me.
What
All
can
right.
you do?
What can you do, ladies and gentlemen? What can you fucking do?
And then people are also mad that I saw in the comments, which I very rarely ever read, but because we didn't break down all the questions, the accusations Uriah wanted.
I'm not interested. And
I'm not a journalist.
and
What
we're
we
not
do
a
is we give
gossip
guys
show.
a platform. If Pat came on here and you freaking whatever, I give you the platform and you wanted to talk about sriracha for an hour, we'll talk about sriracha for an hour, Pat.
It's an interesting.
And I was
It's
I was
up to
interested.
you, my man. It's
I was
up
also
to you.
I was also interested in picking someone's brain who's kind of changed a lot of how MMA. I mean, he's a very innovative coach and a very brilliant tactician, and I was
he's crazy.
way more interested in his mind and what makes.
Then the drama.
Yeah, Dwayne. I want to hear about the best of Dwayne Ludwig. I'm not interested in the other things. I mean, it's more
Well,
interesting.
like I said, I think Dwayne's style of coaching works for one world champion in this world. I don't think it's going to work with anyone else. And it worked for TJ, obviously, because TJ's moved his entire camp, everything
Yeah.
to Denver.
Yeah.
So it works for him. So who gives a shit?
Right.
What else you got, Evan?
Last one. This is the weirdest story to go viral of all time, but the biggest story of the entire week that I've seen so far is this 19-year-old Yukon kid who showed up shit-faced at the cafeteria with like a 40 and got into a 9-minute ranting tirade about how they wouldn't serve him bacon jalapeno mac and cheese, and it ended up turning into like a big fight, and he's like expelled, and all this shit's gone down now. It's the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen.
Yeah, it's not newsworthy.
Drunk
It sounds
college
like a
student?
Every
college-
single big
Wow.
news outlet has covered the video of this kid screaming at the top of his lungs about bacon jalapeno
Well,
mac and cheese.
Well, congratulations, kids. You're kind of famous for 5 minutes. Don't care. I'm not going to make you more famous by talking about it. However,
weird.
I'll add a current event. I don't know if you guys heard. The guy who was a hunter in Montana, bow hunter, comes across a sleeping grizzly bear. It's the wind is blowing 40 miles an hour and it's snowing, and apparently the grizzly bear didn't hear him. He looks up 3 feet away is a sleeping grizzly bear. Grizzly bear is like, what the fuck? Charges him, bites him on the head, then grabs him by the leg and starts fucking shaking him. And he remembers his grandmother saying, if you ever get attacked by a grizzly bear,
Bite his nose.
stick your arm all the way down his throat, because big animals like that have really crazy gag reflexes.
Okay,
he was
crazy
like, he was like,
grandma.
well, this thing is on my leg, and sticks his arm all the way down the thing's throat. Thing goes,
Deep throated the grizzly
deep
bear.
throated the grizzly bear, and the grizzly bear was like, ugh. Then he goes, finds his brother. His brother's waiting for the elk there. He's trying to shoot the elk this way.
I was
Finds
gonna say,
his brother.
they're hunting, right?
Yeah. His head's all bunched up. He's got his leg is all deep puncture wounds. And his brother's like, "What happened?" He goes, I just got attacked by a grizzly bear, but I stuck my arm down his throat and he let me go."
He
And he's
barfed
like,
on
You know what I
me,
take
let
from
me
the
go.
story?
Yeah.
Grandma's a freak.
Grandma
Grandma's a
is
freak.
Yeah.
Oh, you ever get attacked by an animal? Deep throat that thing.
deep throat that thing. By grizzly bear.
Okay,
by grizzly
Grandma.
bear, I mean a big old strong hairy man. I mean a lumberjack from Montana.
Sleeping.
Yeah.
You got some dropping knowledge for us, Callen?
Got a
or no?
little drop of knowledge real quick.
That
First
was
of all,
it, right, Ev?
Yeah.
Yep.
What do you got?
Good
First
bear
of all, from dropping knowledge last time, the lawyer in question who heard Louis Armstrong play the horn and then became a leading lawyer in civil rights. Name was Charles Black. Thank you for somebody tweeting that to me. But the dropping knowledge is this. I think about roughly how many people are killed a year on the highway in the United States in car accidents.
guess? You want us to guess?
Yeah, it's between. Well, it varies. I think it's between 42 and 52,000, something crazy like that. It's a lot of people.
Okay, we won't guess.
How many fatalities in U.S. air travel have there been since 2009? How many would you say?
Well, let's see. September 11th.
2009, sir.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Dang, that's
2009.
2009.
Yeah,
that's
brother.
2001.
It's 2001. That's right.
Jeez.
It's 14
well,
years ago.
2009.
Stick to 2009. But that's a long time. That's 6 years. How many fatalities have there been in U.S.
In the
air
world?
travel?
Oh,
In
US?
major
US air travel.
airlines
All of
or
them. Yeah,
everything.
major airlines.
Well, that pilot
Major
died, so
airlines.
that's one.
Major airlines.
Well, I can think of
I'm
one.
gonna say no more than 200.
No more than 200.
Less than that. I'd say 20.
20. What would you say?
I feel like you wouldn't be bringing this up unless it was way higher or lower than
It's
most
low.
people would
It's
think.
low as fuck.
Oh, just for the sake of being different, fuck it. 2,000.
2,000. Wow.
Wow, that's a
All right.
terrible guess.
Natalie?
I would say like between 100 and 200.
She
100
seems
and
smart.
200.
Natalie goes
Those
between 100 and
glasses.
200.
Keely, what would you say?
She seems smart.
I'm gonna say like 500.
Good job. So the answer is
terrible.
the answer is
None.
2.
0. 0.
What about
And
the plane that went missing?
What about the guy who died?
that wasn't
That was
American.
Malaysia.
That was
International.
Malaysia.
Oh, that's,
Hey,
Yeah.
international though? International?
Yeah, come
Shit
on.
just goes
International is 10 million.
Yeah.
international. Yeah, 1 out of 2 planes go missing.
1 out of 2.
Those people aren't.
But think about that.
That's
Think
why I
in
keep my
6
ass here.
years, in 6 years, that's a perfect product. They actually deliver a perfect product. A perfect product in 6 years. That's fucking crazy.
It is, but when that shit goes wrong,
Yeah.
when it does
but,
go
but
wrong,
how safe is flying?
everyone's dying.
Flying is crazy safe. Statistically, it is a perfect product. So
I
you know what? Well
I
done.
drive a lot, and
Yeah, I do.
I see some crazy stuff on the road, man. I totally agree.
Yeah.
Like, man, I see some
So
shit.
dangerous?
Yeah.
I think texting is taking over drunk driving, everything. Texting and driving is number one.
I will not do it.
Everyone in here does it except for Patrick.
I won't do it.
I
I do it.
do it too.
sometimes-
I
don't
do
do
it
it.
too, and we shouldn't do it.
We shouldn't do it.
I do voice to text,
I
but-
fucking know you do, Kay.
I just got into an accident on Saturday.
Texting and
Jeez.
driving?
God damn it, Kay.
I know, dude. I
Text and
I
drive,
was
Ev?
there.
I text you and drive.
I'm glad you're alive.
Yeah.
That's good.
If I die in a text or driving accident, there's a 95% chance it's because I'm texting you.
Pat
Hey, man,
makes me.
you
Pat
drive a
makes
hard
me.
bargain. You need
I
your
refuse
answers
to.
quick.
Quick.
Pat
I've had
makes.
too many. Like I see so much crazy stuff, and I've had a couple close calls where I'm like, man, I was just looking at my phone like an idiot.
I know, man.
And I said,
it's
I'm
a
not doing
bummer.
it anymore.
Good.
I gotta chill out. I'm gonna be a dad.
And
I
people
gotta chill
know.
out.
Yeah,
true, dude. I
people
do
know
too.
too. People be like, oh, he's driving. He's not gonna respond to me right away. I'm either driving or I'm training.
I just have to put my phone
Otherwise,
away.
I had my
I'll get
kids
back
in
to
my
you.
backseat. I'm not proud of this, and I'm on the PCH.
I'm proud of this.
And I had my kids in the back seat, and I was texting, and a motorcycle cop calls right up to me, and he goes, "You gonna text with your kids in the back seat?" You know, on those. And I went, ah! I was like, ah! I was like, I screamed, I was like, sorry. I'm like a little bitch. Sorry, I'm sorry. And he just kind of drives by, just shaking his head. I was ashamed.
That's
I was
the nut. That's
embarrassed.
worse than a ticket.
Dude, I was embarrassed.
Worse
I was
than a
like,
ticket.
Dude,
Oh,
I
my-
was on Pacific, beach traffic, just bumper to bumper, and this old guy's next to me in just a shitty Sebring. He looks over at me and goes, "Get off your fucking phone."
Yes.
And at first I was like pissed, and I was like, "You're right, man. You're right." I
You
put
can't
my
be
phone
pissed.
away.
Yeah, you can't be
Yeah,
pissed at
can't be
that.
mad
Yeah.
because they
can't
drive
be
me
mad.
nuts. If I'm behind someone, I can tell they're texting.
Yeah,
it drives
they're
me
swerving
nuts.
get
Yeah.
off your fucking phone. You still get a little mad.
No, honestly, I was like, "Oh, what? You're right, man. You are so right. You're old as shit too. You're right.
I was
Good
going
for you, man.
I was going in the Fox
Killer
lot.
Sebring, bro.
Hey, Sebring boy, you're not allowed to say fucking anything.
No, he is.
Of course he
Dope
is.
ass Sebring.
I pulled in one time to the Fox lot on Pico, and I made an illegal turn where and this guy at a pickup, young guy, kind of a macho looking guy, goes, "I saw you make that illegal turn, you stupid motherfucker," really loud. And I was like,
traffic police?
and I literally, that's what I was like, well, I'm gonna fight this guy. If he's Pat Cummins or Brendan Schaub, I'm still gonna fight this guy. I was so mad, and I drive up, and then he kind of pulled over, and by that time I wasn't mad anymore, so nothing happened.
yeah.
But
I
I was
go
like,
with
hey, don't fucking, you don't know me. I might be tough. Don't look at my arms.
When it
but
comes to that stuff, shut the fuck up. Like illegal U-turns, don't get mad at me.
I know you've had this situation, Pat. Have you ever had a civilian try to fight you, and you just know you fucking pick him up and break his neck?
I wouldn't say try to fight me, but I've had people get upset, like especially in the car. You know, it's like, man, if I step out of this car, what are you gonna do? Like you're gonna freak out. You're gonna pee your pants. You know,
He
And I'm
sees
like,
your ears and.
Yeah, like it's just not. I don't even. I'm just like whatever. That guy's tough in his
No,
car.
you're too chill.
What,
yeah,
what about
you're
in a,
not-
what
you're
about
not
in a
gonna
bar?
fight.
Anything?
He's missing
Nah,
a tooth.
nobody actually.
You're missing a tooth.
Once a long
No
time
one's
ago,
fucking with a
And
guy with
cauliflower
no teeth.
ears with a neck
a long
like
time
that.
ago when I still had a tooth.
Of course.
I was wearing a pink shirt in a bar and like I was doing a wrestling camp in
Well, that's a bad idea.
some bumblefuck town, and these guys are like talking back and forth. They start getting louder, like, "What's up with this guy in his pink shirt?" And I'm like, really? Like that's what you're gonna go with? And I waited till like I got their attention. I looked at him, like gave him a wink. I was like,
You're gay.
gave him a little kiss,
Yeah.
and boy, that shut him right up.
Really? Freaked him out?
Yeah. He was
So
like, what?
But how did the tooth?
dude.
Where'd you lose the tooth? Wrestling? Headbutt?
Wrestling, yeah. Olympic trials. What year was that? 2000. Like right after I graduated school.
Headbutt. And you realize
Elbow.
you have a black eye
Elbow.
all the time, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
My face is always bruised.
You
Now-
always have.
now-
you always have a black eye.
I just have a baby face.
Do you not have a fake tooth attached to a retainer or
I
something?
do, yeah. I mean, who wants
It's
to wear a
character.
retainer
It's
all the
character,
time?
man.
Who wants to wear a retainer all the time?
It's
Yeah.
character.
Well, you're an adult in 2015 society. Let's get
He's a
that tooth.
fighter, though. I like this.
I'm
though.
just-
It's
Let's get that
character.
tooth fixed. He's
Yeah.
a very good-looking guy.
Peacocking.
I'm extending No Tooth Tuesday into Wednesday. So.
Oh, I'm not mad at that.
You are good-looking enough to actually pull it off, but let's fix the tooth. You've got a very, very symmetrical face, and it's throwing me off.
Not while you're
Get
still
that-
fighting, though. Not while you're
Huh?
still
Yeah,
fighting.
you
But,
can't-
when you
you can't have
retire.
something screwed
Excuse
into
me.
your jaw.
Excuse me. Are you fighting right now? No, you're not. Get that fucking tooth. Get a tooth in there, and when you're around me, and we'll be fine.
You can't have something screwed into your jaw.
Oh.
Yeah,
and
get punched.
But isn't there like a retainer that's attached with the tooth you can clean?
Yeah, he has one of
yeah, I
those,
got
but
that.
it's like it's called peacocking, man. He likes the ladies.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, excuse me for a
Hey,
second.
he's gonna fix his tooth,
Hey,
you're
bro,
gonna wear a wig.
You get mad at me when I wear fucking flip-flops, and you're not mad at him for being lazy about his front tooth?
No, not
Huh?
at all. I like it. I
Sir,
actually think it looks
sir,
good.
you, sir,
This
are
is
a
me.
liar.
This
No,
is
I'm
And I
not,
want you to
man.
know the
He looks
minute,
like a pirate.
the minute you
Cover it
leave,
up.
he's gonna turn on you. He's gonna be like, I don't like that tooth at all.
Not at all.
Sir, you're a liar.
That's Pat, man.
I
It's
understand.
character.
Pat-
You have
Listen,
shitty hair. He's
you-
missing a tooth.
Hey, don't say that. By the
Yeah.
way, I'm looking at you. I'm thinking about getting very swole. I might go on TRT. I'm gonna shave my head, and I'm gonna be the poor man's Pat Cummins, just a little older. I'll be dad.
You want me to wear a retainer with a tooth on it? You should wear a wig around. See how comfortable
Be
that is.
quiet, Pat. I don't need a fucking wig,
Think
man.
about
Not me.
comfortable
At the end of
wig
the day,
is.
that's not you, is it?
Yeah.
This is me.
It is what it is, man.
Yeah. This is Bryan Callen.
You're right, buddy.
They should
Well,
change-
and don't describe me like I was talking like this. Hey, you probably should.
you have any business going in there?
Oh,
It's not it, dude. That's not how I talk, man. My voice is very robust,
Bro.
He
Very
did not say
strong.
that.
Fucking can't wait. I can't wait. I can't wait to do arm drags.
I'm sure we got some good
can't wait
fan
to
questions. You do love it. Fan questions.
I'm into that.
Yeah, man.
I'd like to get into that.
There you go.
It's good. It's good stuff.
Yeah, you're
It
on
is.
the road a lot. Driving
Yeah.
to San Diego, all over, man.
Well, yeah.
Are you?
It's
Do
I
you,
best way
always
to read.
listen to you guys.
Yeah.
You're like,
do you ever bum out that at Rain is no longer? We had a good
I
time there,
do.
man.
Yeah, it is. Jake Ellenberger texted me like out of the blue the other day, and he's like, "Hey man, what's going on? Where you been?" I'm like,
I know.
man, I gotta say I miss the old days.
The old team.
So
You
what
just
happened to
never know
Rain?
Who's gonna pop in there?
What happened to
And
Ray? Mark Munoz closed it down or something? Or-
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's exactly what happened.
Yeah.
That's exactly what
I
happened.
have nothing. Yeah, it's exactly what happened. It was Mark Munoz, Pat, myself, Jake Ellenberger. There's some killers in there,
Yeah.
man.
When you guys are, I've always wondered this because you guys are in.
Pulled
You
my
got
gun today.
all these killers in it. Did you?
Yeah, running sprints.
Let's ice that bad. Let's
Put some
ice that bad.
sriracha
one.
on it.
Put some sriracha and then ice.
Yeah.
Alternate sriracha ice, sriracha ice,
All right, what were
sriracha
you saying,
ice.
LB?
Sorry. When you guys are all together in a camp like that, you develop camaraderie and stuff. I've always wondered though, do you guys share ideas and tell each other what you're doing wrong, or does everybody keep their own technique to themselves?
Sure.
You do.
Absolutely.
Especially with,
Yeah.
yeah.
There's
do.
there's no sport friendlier than MMA.
I
Like,
agree.
man, I've made such great friends, and in any other sport, it's like everybody's kind of secretive. They do their own thing. If you're not on this team, you're not on that team. Man, anytime you guys from different backgrounds, you know what I mean? Everybody's like, hey, I'd really like to learn some takedown defense or whatever. Like, okay, teach me how to kick somebody in the face. It's just you go back and forth really
Right.
easily.
Yeah, I used to wrestle with Pat nonstop because he's the best wrestler in the
Yeah.
camp.
That's, you took second in the NCAAs. Yeah. That's
You were heavyweight
Thanks
though,
for
right?
bringing
that up.
260.
it's
Yeah.
unbelievable.
I
though.
was
It's such
I
a
was
huge
beefy
accomplishment.
265 at one point in my life.
You feel way better now.
Yeah, it was too much to hang on to.
Did you-
I slowly gained weight from the time. Like I was 200 pounds going to school. Over 5 years, I got to 265. And it was
60
like
pounds.
it was hard, man.
Did you wrestle at the same time Cael Sanderson and Les Gutches and those guys wrestled?
I think I was a sophomore when Cael Sanderson won his fourth.
He
title.
makes it look so effortless.
Super
What do you got, Ev? Fan
Frustrating.
questions.
It's unbelievable.
frustrating.
All right, let's
Yeah,
go
it's
to
like
him.
he's not even trying.
Yeah.
It's the way I do a dance and the way I have sex as well. It looks like I'm not doing anything. I'm just like water. I'm Mercury.
natural.
I'm the Anderson Silva of the bedroom.
All right.
Okay.
So
What do you
moving on.
got?
All right, first fan
Fan
question.
questions. God, I feel singy right now. Maybe it's my sriracha.
You guys should have a karaoke machine in here.
No
We
shit.
really should.
That'd be
That's
a
a good
great way to
idea.
warm up before you
That's
start.
a good idea.
I
Just
would
get it
love
started.
to. I would love to have.
Callen, sniff that sriracha for
I'm
me.
sniffing
What do you got, Evan?
All right, first one. Why don't wrestlers focus more time on just guard passing? I feel like the most dangerous style is great takedowns and great guard passing together.
Is this for me?
Oh, 100%.
Well,
Yeah, that one's for you, buddy.
All right. Actually, I've been working on my guard passing a little bit just now. I think it's kind of overlooked because you have that urge to, I want to take somebody down and I want to posture up and just punch them. That's what everybody feels. I think
Yeah.
every wrestler that's ever done MMA is like, oh, I'm gonna take him down, I'm gonna ground him, pound him out.
But I think you were the first guy because I would try a lot of jiu-jitsu with Pat. And when we did straight jiu-jitsu, it would work. But then when we did MMA, and he had MMA gloves on,
Oh, boy.
Pat would punch to pass. And he's one of the best in the world I've ever seen do it.
Jesus.
Punch to pass.
Yeah.
Jesus. So you just sock him in the face and then just.
Well, he would get in these weird positions.
I
and
wanna make you
he'd get
move.
wrist control,
Yeah.
and then I'd go for a submission. But you end up on bottom of Pat. It was a nightmare.
Ugh.
He's very good at it.
yeah.
Yeah, you get your opponent to move a certain direction, and it opens up a strike, and that strike opens up your positioning. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's.
Do
But
I
I also
ever.
think it's very important not to play a jiu-jitsu game against a jiu-jitsu guy. Like I'm a good wrestler.
Mm-hmm.
That's hard for a jiu-jitsu guy. But as soon as
Nightmare.
I start, I'm gonna try my little hand in jiu-jitsu. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
you have it's a fine line. You have to
Yeah.
be very careful because it's
Now
I'm-
you're
all
in
of a
his-
sudden,
now
I'm
you're in
I'm
his-
your arena,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I'm gonna get smoked.
Yeah, Pat's very good at that. Tell you what, man, I wish we had it on film. The days when it was Marky Mark in his prime, Pat, Satoshi, the gold medalist judo guy,
Who's Marky Mark, please?
Mark Munoz.
Oh, sorry.
We
then-
could have charged
and then
admission.
myself.
We could have charged admission on Fridays.
Yeah,
or
man.
Just
Tuesdays,
killers over
sparring
there.
days. Boy,
I accidentally called Satoshi. This is fucked up. On UFC Now, I called him Sushi.
sushi.
And I didn't even notice it. And I see Kenny Florian laughing. I'm like, what's he laughing? He goes, you just call him Sushi. I was like, oh, God.
Oh God!
And then in my ear, they go, we're going to leave that. I'm like, oh, God, he's going to kill me. So sorry, Satoshi.
You tend to throw words around like you'll be like, well, the lashback on that. No, that's backlash. And you're like, mistake me if I'm wrong. No, it's correct me if I'm wrong. If you could just,
I called Satoshi.
you get excited.
Sushi.
Yeah, you get excited. You,
I was like, listen, there's one thing about sushi you got to remember. And then Kenny's laughing like, what the fuck's he laughing at? This is the on it. They're going to play it too.
oh
On
no!
UFC Now.
Oh,
They could
no.
not stop laughing. What else you got, Ev?
Oh
was
my
such a
God, that's
monster.
so funny.
Oh, I know.
Satoshi.
Without a tooth, though, I slur a little bit. Like it, so I mean, I would be
You
like,
have an excuse.
yeah,
I haven't picked
have
that
a
up.
decent excuse there.
I have nothing.
You have three
I have
little
nothing.
douchey-
I talk for a living now. I have no excuse.
You just have it. You have a little bit of a speech impediment. We know this.
God damn Aurora Public Schools.
No, it's just that you say werewolf instead of werewolf. He says werewolf every time.
Werewolf.
He doesn't pronounce his L's. Yeah, and obviously.
Hey man, yeah, there's a lot. You
All right,
want me to
bro.
go through your stuff?
Bro, come on,
Yeah,
man.
let's air it
It's
all
been-
out.
Let's hear it
It's
out.
been shit
What
on
else you
Bryan
got?
all day.
What else you got, Ev?
All right, Pat, you're an exciting fighter and one of my favorite light heavyweights. Since being signed by the UFC, what aspect of your life has changed most significantly?
Well, not to work at a coffee shop anymore. I'm
I'm not a barista.
Yeah, I have my own car.
These are all pluses.
Yeah.
These are huge pluses.
Fucking great.
What aspect of my life? I mean, I feel like I can kind of relax a little bit. Like that heat isn't always on me. Like when you're broke.
Yeah.
And you're trying, you're going for something. There's heat on you all the time, and it's like it's nerve-wracking. It fucks with your
Stressful, man.
quality of life. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's so stressful. And I'm a very like easygoing, mellow guy, and I'm like anti-stress. No stress here, you know. And you start bringing things in that are totally out of control. Ugh.
So now you
Just
can just
kills
focus
me.
on fighting. Really.
Now I can just focus on fighting and doing my own thing, and I can have. Like a lot of people don't know this about me. In school, I was a fine art major, and I have a master of fine arts in ceramics. Yes, and ceramics.
Whoa,
sculpture.
hold on.
Yeah.
Hold the
So-
flip on.
In my wrestling pursuits, you know what I mean? Like I'm training so hard, and I need an outlet. Everybody thought it was the weirdest combination of things.
Or
but-
awesome.
Those
Yeah,
big
I
hands,
needed-
those
I
big
needed an
hands don't
outlet.
just punch people in the face. They create beauty.
Yeah, but I'd get stressed out wrestling, and I'd go,
Start making some
man,
pots."
Yeah, I go just unload, make some things.
Well, this is very interesting to me. Hold on. So I was
So
going to
I have
ask you.
time in my life now that I can go back to.
Are you
that.
making
So
pots now?
I have this balance.
Sriracha and pots and shit.
Yeah, I do a little woodworking.
Wow.
I do, yeah.
Fine
I'm a
arts.
very tactile person. Like I need a project.
You
and
ride
I
your
need-
bike all the time.
Yeah, I
man.
ride my bike a lot.
All
Yeah.
the
I
time.
feel
Like
I'm
on
the
Instagram,
weirdest-
it's like him with rattlesnakes. Like just fucking 600 miles left. I'm like, where the fuck are you?
Wow. What do you I was going to ask you, when you're done fighting, do you have a plan, and would it be something like
Do you
that?
want
Or
to
are
sell
gonna go
pots?
back
Do you
to-
hate money?
Or you can make money. He can be the official ceramic maker for the fighter and the kid.
Yeah.
We drink our
That'd-
coffee out of Pat Cummins mugs.
Could.
I mean, I have a lot of interests. You know, I'm like spread across the board. I have so many things that I'm interested in. And I think the key is finding something that you can make work for you and be lucrative. So
Yeah.
you can so you can afford all your other hobbies.
Yeah.
So I mean, I'd love to get back into that. My ceramics professor in school was very adamant about me, going to the next level, going to grad school, like continuing that part of my life. And I said, I'm gonna try to make the Olympic team. And he was like,
He's like, no, make pots.
no, he couldn't be a cooler guy. He was like, you know what? There's only one time in your life that you can do that. Go do it. And he's like,
That's
when
cool,
when you're
man.
done, come back and see me.
I'm not worried about Pat.
No, I'm not
worried about Pat. after
You've always
fighting.
said he's a very smart guy, and I
Super
believe
smart
that.
guy, yeah.
But I am more curious with is there that much to making ceramics? I mean, do you have to get your master's degree?
Did it take all 4
No,
years?
it's not. Correct me if I'm wrong. I mean, it's not medical school.
Is there that
I
much?
took art history class. Have you ever taken art history class?
Sure, sure, I
tough.
have.
Kind of sucks.
That does
Yeah.
suck.
No, but
I'm with Pat. I'm with
It's-
Bryan on this. So did you,
know what
need all 4 years
well,
to
you know
learn how
what
to
it
make
is?
the pot?
It's a time thing.
Right.
There's so I mean every class, a class in college. How long is it? Hour and
An
a half?
hour and a half. Yeah,
Too
90
long.
minutes.
Mine are 3 hours long, and worth the same credits. And it's just because you got to spend the time to do
You
it.
might be a genius because I wish I fucking was making pots in college and playing
Yeah.
football.
Yeah, but
Now you work on a wheel? Do you work with a wheel?
Yes, so it's one of my
Like
many
from
tools.
Ghost? Cool.
Listen, yeah.
No,
Listen, man.
Well, I'm just
Pat
kidding.
just freaks out because we're making fun of him.
Who's making
studio.
fun? I want to know more about the wheel.
No, I mean, listen, it's very easy to say, oh, yeah, it's like a basket weaving degree, bro. Yeah.
No, if it's your
is.
passion, though,
You
man.
could, you could get through it, but that's the one thing I really enjoy doing. And I
Fucking
didn't
do
care.
it, man.
I didn't care, there was times when I was like, maybe I should get into business or do something like that.
We are not going
that
to
I'm
make
gonna
fun of you after
use.
this at all. Just so you
Yeah.
know, we are not
Yeah.
going to your face.
But it's
when
something that I really enjoy doing. I didn't even want to go to school because I just wanted to. I wanted to go down that road. I wanted,
make gourds, and pots,
Exactly.
and mugs. No, there are a lot of things you can make.
There are.
For
yeah.
instance,
You're-
the Masters. That's,
I'm
it's interesting, man.
actually love you more that you're a fucking badass and
Creative,
a fine
dude. Creative and
arts
smart. Yeah,
major.
man. I'm not worried about Pat.
I mean,
for
he's
sure
got
he'll
his
make pots for a
master's in
living, though.
ceramics.
What else you got, Evan?
What the fuck is going on? The guy's a walking dichotomy.
Hey, it just doesn't make sense.
Hey guys, no,
All the ladies listen and they're like, whoa.
I know.
There's
His
more
hand-
to
his hands.
It's like an onion.
His hands can-
layers,
yeah.
layers.
You know Pat Cummins, the Onion.
The onion, there's a lot of layers.
Keep peeling back that muscle, and you'll find pure artist under there.
Hey, let's
They'll dick you down and make you a pie.
Dick
let's
you
get
down.
let's get some good nicknames for me.
Well, it could be.
Oh, this would be fun.
Could be. I don't know. Let me just think.
I like the toothless pirate.
the toothless pot maker. The toothless.
The pot man.
The toothless.
Pat the pot man coming.
The guy can work clay and your dick.
Too much, man.
Sorry, man. Sorry.
Wow.
See that.
Why'd you take it there?
Hey,
bro?
Pat. I'm sorry.
All
I
right,
want to
since
apologize.
since you went there, my fight name in a different time and place could be Pat in your face Cummins.
Hey, Pat, this is a family show. What the fuck is going on, bro?
Yeah.
This is where you
Can
take
you
it
imagine
down.
Bruce Buffer doing that?
Yeah.
And
Pat, in your face,
in your
Cummins.
face, Cummins.
The whole arena's like, what the fuck?
Or
is
better
going
yet,
on now?
Pat, in your face, Cummins. Hey. Now,
For sure, throw pots in the crowd when you in your next fight.
yeah.
Go
Plates,
to it.
fucking
Relax.
plates.
Go to it and just tossing pots to the crowd. People
all
are like, ow, shit. Made by me, baby.
That's
That'd
amazing.
be
I want to
sick.
hang on to that one.
Ooh, I want the mug.
You could teach. If I were you, I'd just open up a clay class. and
Women
just
only.
Have girls sit in the front, and you just get behind them and teach them
like
the
Ghost.
wheel, like Ghost.
Yeah.
There you go. You're
With your
doing
shirt
that.
off?
Doing that wrong. I got to take my shirt off.
Oh,
Sorry about my
oops,
all-American
oops,
body.
sriracha all over. Oops. No, don't worry, there's no sugar. Lick it off. There's no sugar or preservatives. Go ahead and lick it off.
Go ahead. Be careful of your tongue. It might be my skin or the
Careful.
sriracha that's so
Make sure you
hot.
get your pot on the way out. Why'd you say you dicked me down? Anyways, what else you got, Evan?
Fuck, man.
We really ran with that.
Also
Sorry,
too
Pat.
far, too far.
Too
Too much.
Too far.
All right, we got a couple more.
You
Stick with dirt.
working with a piece, by the way? Everything proportional down there? Yeah, good man. We'll
Pat
talk
has an
about that
ass
later.
like a running back from Tennessee.
got a
I'll
beautiful-
put it
Got
It's
to be
got-
able
it's
to
got a
balance it
nice
out
ass.
in the
Yes.
front. You know
Girls
what I'm
like an ass. They like it when you jackhammer. You got a jackhammer back there. You got some power.
saying? Yeah, put some momentum into it.
That's exactly right. If you're working with a 4-inch nub, it's okay. You're still a good-looking kid.
What do you got, Evan?
All right, Pat, what do you think about Glover's wrestling game?
I think it's I think it's good. You know, I've worked out with the guy. He's a guy that
Have you guys trained together?
yeah, we trained before.
At Black House?
Yeah, and I mean, it's one of those. I'm sure you've been in this situation. It's a guy you know. It's not necessarily a guy that you want to go get in a fight with because you know you're friendly with him.
Yeah.
But
You guys are both super friendly.
yeah, but it's just I mean it's the business, and we both know that.
And how do you think you match up with this guy? Because when I first heard about it, I think Rogan told me, or no, actually, our coach Ryan texted me, goes, "What do you think?" And I told him, I said, man, I'd like something else for Pat because I know both you guys. I was like,
Okay.
I'd like something else for Pat.
Yeah,
I was
just
like, he can
because of
beat
that.
him, but it's a tough matchup, man. And Ryan's like, yeah, it's a tough. This is what Pat wants. I'm like, then do it.
Yeah.
And then me and Rogan were talking about it. I'm like, fuck, it's a tough matchup, man.
Yeah.
Rogan said the same thing too. He goes, but if Pat beats him.
Yeah, I mean, I like the matchup just because I love a guy that wants to move forward and bring the fight. You know, that's the kind of guy that I excel against. I think.
I think you can break him.
I think so too.
I think if you look at Phil Davis in Brazil when he fought him,
Just
and they'll say,
frustrated,
oh,
yeah.
well, he had a shitty camp, blah, blah, blah. No, I get that. But
Is it safe to say that Glover was going to come with you, but there's nothing you haven't seen before, even though he's a really good wrestler? And is that a
He's
big
really good
factor?
boxing.
Yeah.
Really good boxer in boxing, yeah, and he stays
Good
very
jiu-jitsu,
cool
too.
under but good wrestling. But I mean, at the same time, I don't feel like it's necessarily. I don't feel like there's a lot of surprises. Like you're going to know you know exactly what you're up against.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, to a certain degree, of course. You know.
yeah.
Either way,
There's
it's a great
always,
fight.
There's always that.
It's
you
not
know,
like
oh,
he's
well,
going to change
this
his
could
game,
happen.
though. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
he's old enough where he's not come in with like crane
Yeah.
kick or some shit.
Yeah, this is what he's going to do.
We know what he brings to the table. Good luck taking Patrick down.
Yeah.
Glover.
Yeah,
Good
I'm
luck
going
with
to teach you some. I got
He has some
tricks.
tricks for
Front
you.
kick,
Yeah.
roundhouse, wheel kick,
Couple,
back
Alright.
kick.
couple wheel.
Yeah, we'll go over it. We'll
Couple
Instagram
stuff in
some
your
shit.
wheel
We'll
block.
Instagram some
What
shit.
else you got, Ev?
All right, we'll do two more. Brendan, what do you think about getting called out by Derek Lewis? Did you even know?
I didn't even recognize it. I didn't want to bring it up on the show. Fantastic question. Whoever asked this.
He doesn't care. Can I answer?
Yeah.
He doesn't care. Thanks so much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's all I got for you.
That's it. You don't give a fuck.
Nope.
All right,
Hey, real quick.
Nope.
Hey, come on.
come.
Let's
Hey
get
man.
real.
Hey man. No upside. Anyway,
Who's Derek Lewis?
Yeah, I didn't even see it. I
God
didn't
bless. God
know.
bless Derek Lewis.
Yeah,
but
good.
it
I
doesn't
get
matter.
it. I like it, man. Call someone else out who can actually fight, though. How about that?
Yeah.
All right, last one. Pat, do you regret anything about the Cormier fight, and are you glad he won the title, so that you can get revenge and get the belt back from him?
Like, what do you think about? I'll rephrase that question because we went over the whole DC shit, and I'm sure you're sick of talking about it because that was forever ago. But what do you think of the whole 205 kind of division right now? Because John Jones obviously is coming back. DC's the reigning champ. Gustafson obviously he's come up short now twice. So the division, it's good. It's a good time. I think the rest of the division is kind of old. So
Yeah,
I don't know, man.
I think it's good for the weight class because for a long time it was like, well, this weight class isn't that strong. You get to the top 3-5 guys, there's some killers, but people were like, well, it's not that deep.
It's like heavyweight.
Yeah. And it's good for the sport, you know. And I'm not going to shy away from a challenge. That's what I want. I want to go. I mean, that's why I'm in the UFC because I want to fight the best guys, and I want to beat the best guys.
So John off the suspension, if they called you fight him after beat Glover?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you know me. I've had 4 years of trying to fight.
True that.
So hard. Like I'll take any fight, anything.
Nothing.
And now,
I felt horrible for him. Too.
Yeah.
They could not find him a fight.
God damn.
It
He
was-
was
it was
training with
awful.
all of us. Went through all my camps. And he's not getting paid.
Yeah. And I like, so that's why, I mean, obviously I need experience, that's why I went on this tear of, all right, I'm going to fight every opportunity I can get. I'm going to fight. I'm not taking any breaks.
And Joe
I
Silva
need
said,
that
"Come on
experience."
down to Brazil.
Yeah.
You want
And I
to
said,
fight?
okay.
Get on a plane.
Do you
to
spend
Brazil.
way more time on your stand-up or it's equal amount?
I spent a good deal on stand up.
That's a cardio machine too, though.
Yeah.
Cardio machine.
I bet.
It's one of those, it's a comfort thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
It's your happy place.
yeah, because I feel great in the gym, my stand up, but unless you've been doing something for 10 years, it's not second nature to you.
Experience
So
is
it's-
priceless.
Yeah,
for sure.
you got to get the experience.
Yeah, man. What else you got, Ev?
That's it, my man.
Pat Cummins, man.
It's a good one, right?
Sriracha,
Told
the
you, man.
sriracha, man.
Sriracha, man. Brought us fine sriracha, no sugar.
Opened up to us.
Are you going to be mad if I toss some sugar in there, though? Or?
Hey, bro.
No.
No more
but
sugar
just,
for you.
Just think every time.
That was made with love.
Think of me every time that's in your mouth.
Think of me,
There's been a
everyone.
little bit of Pat inside you.
Yeah.
It took Pat 4 years of school to make this.
I love it. He's a creative guy. He
4
makes
years of
sriracha.
hard work.
He makes pots. He will
should've made the
punch you in
vessel.
the face. And if he wants to take you down, there's nothing you can do. There are probably 2 people or 3 people in the world that are going to have something to say about that. So, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank a real man, an American man, Pat Cummins.
The toothless
A
pirate.
toothless fucking pirate. A toothless
Where can they find you, Callen?
bandit. Glad you asked. Guys, this weekend, I'm going to be in Louisville, Kentucky starting tonight, Thursday, October 8th, 9th, and 10th at the Laughing Derby. Stop looking at my hairline, you son of a bitch.
I'm looking at you.
Why are
You
you
like
looking
someone
at me?
gave you a noogie before you
Bro,
came in
I
here.
was in the wind.
It's not even windy
I'm
in
an outdoorsman,
California.
man. I play tennis.
Okay, carry on. Keep going.
And I take creatine, and I
Louisville.
gain at least 5 pounds of
All right,
muscle.
Louisville.
I don't even care anymore now. Now,
Oh, you're Louisville Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday?
Nope, I'm back on Sunday, bro.
So Louisville Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
Yeah, buy
Boom.
your tickets. I just tweeted out. Rogan's going to tweet it for me.
I'll
Let's go,
tweet
guys.
it for you.
Thanks, pal.
Go see the kid. Bring your sriracha. Squirt it in his eyes. It'll be fun to watch him cry.
I will cry.
Listen, Firing the Kid, TFATK.com tonight. Abbott Kenny Fight Club Halloween limited edition tees drop. Master Kim Zombie Brown Bear shirts drop. For sure, don't lift your shirt.
Wow, I got
And
a
Master Kim Tyga Zombie tees drop as well. That's all available. TFATK.com. You know the deal. Live shows are at Ontario Improv November
25th, man.
25th. Get your tickets now. They're going fast. And I think Tempe, Arizona sold out. I'm not
Yeehaw!
sure. It's getting close, but Tempe, Arizona, November 12th. You know the deal. Shirts are on sale tonight. This is the Firing the Kid. We're out.